And welcome to Living on a Thin Line with Tony Vicich. I am Tony Vicich. We come to you 6 days a week, Mountain Standard Time, 2 p.m. We are your daily distraction about the anger, anxiety, weirdness, and hoopla in the world today. We come to you on 3 platforms: ComedySchoolsRadioNetwork.com strictly for your listening pleasure. YouTube Comedy Schools, we get a vast panoramic view of my very messy home office / studio / hideaway / museum. And of course, we come to you here on Facebook Live. The show is built around 3 tent poles. It is built around your questions and comments as you question and comment here on one of the aforementioned social media sites. Oftentimes I have some knick-knack or doodad that I weave a story around that I share with you visually and verbally. And also we recommend one artist or one piece of music of our vast vinyl album and compact disc collection. It is Wednesday, December 2nd. Christmas is slowly creeping upon us. You know that. I don't know. I don't know how this one's shaping out shopping wise. What I did for many years in my 40s, 50s was I waited almost the last day when I was living alone. I wouldn't live alone. I had my daughter, but I would go shopping on almost like the second to the last day. Matter of fact, I did that most of my life. I did most of my Christmas shopping like on December 23rd or even the morning of the 24th, and just did it all in one fell swoop. And that worked for me for a long time. And then one day I was in my 50s, I just found it too irritating, and I was getting tired. Age caused me to become a better planner and to spread out the shopping a little bit. And of course, now we have online shopping. So I think the majority of the shopping that Shirley and I will be doing will be online. But you need to let us know if you've been a good boy or good girl, and if we should get you something for Christmas. And we will certainly look into doing that. Like I said, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I can't believe it. Tomorrow, it's already been an entire week since Thanksgiving. Have you eaten all of your bird yet? Is all of your turkey gone? All your stuffing gone? All your gravy? Are you still working on leftovers? Do you feel guilty right now? I feel guilty. I never was big on wasting food. And I also realized that because of a somewhat middle-class lifestyle, a lot of what I consider to be stuff to be wasted, that if we were living more financially challenged and came from a more financially challenged culture, even though we did come from a financially challenged culture, I wouldn't even be wasting that. Like when you cut an onion and you cut the two tops off, where the the tail and the head of the onion are, and you just throw that away. Well, I mean, if you were really, really broke, you wouldn't throw that away. You'd throw that, you'd save those up and throw them in a pot and make some onion soup. But I especially feel guilty about throwing away large amounts of prepared food, leftovers that you leave in the refrigerator too long and you don't eat. Sometimes I think for me, when I get into cooking mode and I'm cooking a lot, I will, then it just becomes more about the cooking than the food. And I always make way too much. I still cook like I'm cooking for an army. There's a couple things. I'm a pretty good cook. My wife is a great cook. I'm a good cook. Okay. There's a couple things I make great. There's 2 things I have not learned how to do. I've not learned how to cook for 2 or 1. And I haven't learned how to make anything that isn't fattening. Everything I make is delicious because it's fattening food. So, even I made the turkey this year. Primarily made the turkey. There's not a lot to make in a turkey. People don't understand. You got to thaw it out, and then there's that whole wash it and pat it down dry. I don't know what the hell that's about. I'm sitting there slapping a dead animal. Then you stuff it. There's some tricks to the stuffing, but that's not what we're talking about. Okay? You put it in a big pan, put it in there, get your oven preheated, set your your temperature. And then my secret to a delicious turkey is basting it every 20 minutes with butter. And I mean, you're melting butter and basting it with that butter. Okay, so 20 minutes, 3 times an hour, 6 hours, 18 times, you're hitting that bird with the butter. You know, that's where you've got a pretty fattening turkey. There's no other way to put it, but it is delicious. Everybody eats my turkey, even if they don't say the word like that, even if they don't call it delicious. Well, they do. They do. So we still have some of this fattening dead animal in our refrigerator. And today was the first time that Shirley and I ate something in a restaurant or from a restaurant since before Thanksgiving. But just finally had to have something besides, turkey sandwich, turkey and eggs, turkey as a side dish, turkey as an entree, But we did that. Hello to Kevin Roberts. Hello to my brother Jerry. Hello to all the Living on a Thin Line family beginning to gather, having a gathering of the tribe. So I taught my workshop last night, which is always a lot of fun. I teach currently I teach the live in-person version of my workshop at JP's Comedy Club, jpscomedyclub.com, 860 East Warner Road, Gilbert, Arizona. Exciting announcement about New Year's Eve at JP's. Kevin Roberts says turkey and spam. I'd try it. Kevin, I would try it. I've tried spam. I don't hate it. It just doesn't do anything for me. I mean, as far as, that sort of low-end food, I'll take pickle loaf over spam any day of the week. I'll tell you that right now. New Year's Eve, Jim Perry and I will be performing at JP's Comedy Club, jpscomedyclub.com. Now, the pandemic is still going on, and Shirley and I are really, 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 I think of all the people that we know in our immediate families in Arizona, except for maybe her parents who are in their 90s, but of all the people that we know, that we're probably, except for her daughter, one of her daughters, are being the most mindful of safety protocols. Mindful of safety protocols. Okay? The one thing I have been doing is teaching one live in-person class. I got to be spread out real good. You got to wear a mask. You get up, move around. And I will be doing a show New Year's Eve at JP's Comedy Club with safe social distancing. Okay? Plenty of space between seats, mask required, plenty of hand sanitizer. We have measured it out. When we're on stage, we're at least 12 feet away from any of the patrons. You know what it's become like? That's the rule in a lot of places that are allowing entertainment on a stage to be performed. That you have to be 12 feet away from the nearest customer. And we'll be doing that New Year's Eve. So if you want to get out New Year's Eve and you want to get out as safely as possible, JP's Comedy Club is going to have something for you. And you find out about that by going to jpscomedyclub.com, where this weekend they got Manny Hernandez, very funny guy. So check it out. That 12-foot rule reminds me of when I was a young guy. Sometimes you'd walk into a funky old bar in a seedy part of town. Okay? Funky old bar in a seedy part of town. And they'd have what they call a horseshoe bar. And a horseshoe bar is a bar that's shaped like a horseshoe. So it comes around. I mean, it's like a half of a circle. Okay? And the bartender's circle. And behind the bartender was another horseshoe that was raised up about 6 feet. It was raised up 6 to 8 feet. It was a stage. And there was a curtain behind it, oftentimes. And that used to be what strip clubs were like. It used to be if you went to a strip club in the 40s or 50s or 60s, even in a good part of the 70s, the dancer had to be that far away from the patrons. And I wonder if any of that was left over from previous pandemics. I mean, some of it was left over from social cultural mores, but I don't know if you know this or not, but during World War I, of course, there was a huge outbreak of what was called the Spanish flu. It was Spain. Nobody had the flu in Spain, but somehow Spain actually was reporting on it because it didn't have news blackouts. No papers in the United States were. So it got dubbed the Spanish flu. But also during that time, there was a great venereal disease breakout, a massive one in the United States. And one of the areas that had the largest outbreak of syphilis and gonorrhea of anywhere in the United States was in New Orleans, where they were doing a huge amount of basic training and a huge amount of staging for military, young military men to go off to Europe to the war, and a massive venereal disease outbreak. Now, at that time, prostitution was, I think, legal, or at least so loosely enforced that it was basically legal in New Orleans, Sin City. And because of that venereal disease outbreak, they really cracked down on prostitution in New Orleans, in Louisiana. I mean, seriously cracked down on it, made it illegal. At one time, things like that were, this country goes through certain waves of being very libertine and then being very prudish, very libertine and very prudish. And that was the beginning of that sort of prudish era or non-libertine era in the United States. Now, they still were able to have dance places, but I think the way they worked it out was, all right, so then, women couldn't go out and freely circulate on the floor, dressed, in stripper costumes, whatever they were, tassels on their nipples and whatnot. So they, I think that it was starting around that time, okay, that they started having those sort of rules and regulations. But as the 70s began to roll around, those rules and regulations really started to fall apart. It really started people going, why are we doing this? This is ridiculous. And the morals of the time became much freer. Notice I'm not going to say looser. I'm not going to say they were wrong. They were just freer. And now we're kind of reverting back to a less free time morally. And part of it has to do with disease. Sometimes you look at the rise of religion in America, our real conservative laws, and they dovetail with a couple of things. They dovetail with an aging population and some sort of rampant disease, whether it's something like something like Spanish flu or like what we have currently with COVID, or venereal disease, large breakouts of that. And it really changes and modifies behavior. And a lot of the ways you can get people to modify their behavior is through guilt, and use morality. So, New Year's Eve, I'll be on stage like an old stripper. Okay. That's what we were talking about there. Hello, Don Shell. Hello, Todd Fisher. Hello, everyone. Hello to all of you old strippers. What have I got for you today, music-wise? I might want to double back on something here. I was going to go with. I'm going to go with this. Okay. Can I? I'm going to see if I want to do this right. No. I don't think that I have the information here I wanted on these particular songs. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm saving that for tomorrow. I'm going to go with, no, I'm not going to go with that. I'm just, I should have been more prepared today, but I had to go to the doctor today. So I wasn't really preparing for the show. I had to go to the doctor. I'm getting a complete heart checkup. And first off, the common joke is, wait a minute, you got a heart? I'm getting a complete heart checkup. And then Shirley and I grabbed a bite to eat. So I'm literally into the house. So I wasn't totally prepared for what we're doing here. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I have a song. I don't know if I got an album for you guys today. I might be totally lost. I'm looking for something I haven't done before that might be fun. Just hold on with me. Hold on. Bear with me, everyone. I don't want to go with that year. Let's see what else I got here. I will go with this. We've talked about this before. We'll talk about it again. This is a collection of the CDs that I have that I started collecting. I don't have all of them. Okay, I don't. This is the 70s. This is a. There's a bonus trivia game included in this. Original recordings, original artist, 1975, Volume 1, A Year in the Life. So here were the songs that they chose when they put together this CD compilation. It's put together by One Way. I don't know who put these together. I just sort of find them in a music store at one time and started buying them. But here's a put together. Sweet. These songs of the songs of 1975. Sweet, Ballroom Blitz, Jigsaw, Sky High, Pilot, Magic, Grand Funk Railroad, Some Kind of Wonderful, when right around the time Grand Funk was becoming some kind of terrible. Linyard Skinyard, Freebird, Jefferson Starship, Miracles, Glenn Campbell, Rhinestone Cowboy, Tavares, It Only Takes a Little While. It only takes a minute. It only takes a minute. It only takes a minute, girl, to fall in love. Michael Martin Murphy, Wildfire, and Sugar Loaf, Don't Call Us, We'll Call You. So it's quite an eclectic mix from an iconic Southern rock boogie gender-defining song like Freebird to something like Tavares' It Only Takes a Minute, which, no knock on Tavares, but it just, that's just pop pablum. All right. And also as Jefferson started, as Leonard Skinner was rising up, we began to see Jefferson Starship begin to sink down. We began to see Jefferson Airplane, which had been one of the most innovative, interesting, and fascinating conglomeration of musicians from the mid-'60s all the way up until the early '70s, begin to slowly fall apart under the weight of acrimony, drug use, egos, alcoholism, and dwindling creativity. But they did manage in 1975 to put together one of the coolest and greatest love songs of the era. And that song was Miracles. This is a Marty Balin tune. Marty Balin, by the way, Cheryl, that's a song we'll feature today. We're going to feature Jefferson Starship's Miracles. All right. It's a Marty Balin tune. A lot of times when you think of Jefferson Airplane, you think about Grace Slick. That's who you think about. She was the iconic super chick of the 60s. Janis Joplin was a great singer, but a lot of people thought that she was not physically as attractive as one would hope. Although she did sleep with Chris Christopherson slept with her, so what the hell? I thought she was good. She must be good. But Grace Slick, of course, was the farmer model turned singer who joined up with Jefferson Airplane and helped rocket them into superstardom. This deep-voiced, serious-faced, extremely pretty front lady for what was an incredible group of musicians, Yarmulke Cowan and Jack Cassidy and Paul Kantner and Marty Balin and revolving drummers. But by 1975, that had changed quite a bit. And Jefferson Starship, which was an offshoot of Airplane, and was boldly innovative with their first album, Blows Against the Empire, which is a stunningly exciting, wild experiment in psychedelic jazz, pop, and rock, all mixed around one particular theme, had become a pop band. And Marty Balin, who was the male singer in Jefferson Airplane, pretty much was fronting things by that time. And he liked to pen soaring love songs. Well, Kantner and Slick liked hard-edged, cynical stuff. He wrote these beautiful, sweet melodies. And the best one of them all, and one of my favorite songs, one of the most well put together songs of the era, is Miracles. So Grace Slick had said at one time, they said, what won't you do? She goes, I'll tell you what I won't do. I want to be standing on stage going, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby. And on Miracles, her job is the chorus, like the backup singer part, going, ooh, baby, baby, oh, baby. But she does it in just a stunningly wonderful way that it is perfect. So if you're looking for a great pop tune, so I'm not recommending the albums, particularly from that time by Starship, but if you're looking for a great pop tune, one that's catchy, one that'll stay with you, one that's a great love song or a great expression of love, all right? Just everything done right. You want to check out Miracles. Marty Ballin, who my friend Lauren Taines, who is the current owner of Barney's Beanery, lived with for many years, the drummer of Jefferson Starship from that time, and was close friends with Marty Ballin, and was, if not with him, then on the phone with Marty's family right as he was passing on. Was a real blow to her. So I kind of dedicate this to the owner of Barney's Beanery today, my friend Lauren, who was introduced to me, my friend Argus Hamilton, and all of my friends in Los Angeles, who I miss oh so very much. I know you guys are suffering economically and culturally and health-wise more than we are in Arizona right now. And I just want you to know that we are all with you in spirit. All this division on TV, people hating Californian, people hating this state and that state. It's stupid. It's goddamn stupid. Okay? And I just want all my friends in California, all my friends up in the Bay Area and everyone, that we're with you in spirit, with you in heart, with you in mind. If we can't be with you in body, and when this is over, we're all going to get together, and we'll have a good time then. We'll have a good time then. All right. That's our show for the day. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you enjoyed listening. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. with more tales from yesteryear right here on Living on a Thin Line on Facebook Live, YouTube, and ComedySchoolsRadioNetwork.com. Bye-bye.